Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a flip through of my Hobonichi Weeks. Someone requested a more in-depth flip, so I'm going to be doing that today. But first, let's light this candle. So that's cute. This year I got the Peony Purple Mega Weeks. I think it's so beautiful. I will say it is more purple than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more burgundy, but that's okay. It's still a really beautiful color. Anyway, so let's open it up. So up here I have done some stickering, as you can see. I do like to put a Polaroid on this flyleaf kind of page, and I want to add a few more like little stickers throughout, but I really like the way it turned out. I think it's really cute. And then I have some other stickers here that I was thinking I might want to use. I have this really cute silly little owl who looks very like scruffy, but I don't know where I want him, so he's just in my pocket right now, in this pocket here. And then I was thinking of doing this, which is kind of cute, but I also like the simplicity of this. So anyway, I always have some spare stickers up here. My cover page is pretty simple: blueberry cat and clouds from Cat Collage Club. So first we have the perpetual calendar, and I like to use this as a travel tracker. At least that's how I used it last year, and it worked really well. I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be traveling as much this year, so maybe it won't be that interesting. So we'll see. I could still use it for a few different things. Then I use this spread as a health tracker, so whenever I have a symptom I will come here and write it down, just like really high level, to see how frequently I'm getting sick, or the main reason honestly why I use it is to track my headaches. I do get frequent migraines, so this just helps me see how frequently that's happening, and this information has been really beneficial to have, so I'm really glad I started doing this. So yeah, I'll just write, I'll use a red pen and write what my symptoms are. And then if I start a new medication or something like that, I get new glasses, new contacts, whatever, I'll write that in blue, and so it just gives me a nice view of my health throughout the whole year. Then we get into my monthlies. So this year I'm just including all of the information that I have to organize my life. So I'm including when I upload videos, I'm including birthdays, really just everything, and trying to keep the decorations minimal. For reference, okay, this is how I had my monthlies last year, just to give you a brief flip through. Lots of decoration and colors and stuff, so that can get a little overwhelming. So this year I decided to go ahead with less decorations in my spread. Anyway, so that is how I'm using my monthlies. Then we get into the weeklies, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to use this week. In my weeklies, when it was still December and I was still finishing out my previous week's notebook, I was using this as like a media tracker and then writing reviews over here. As you can see, I did not keep up with it. Like, as fun as the idea of media tracking is, it's just not something that I really have the energy or desire to do. So I just kind of like fell off, and it was Christmas anyway, so I was busy and whatever. So then when starting the new year, here is what I'm doing with the weeks now. So I wrote my January TBR over here, as you can see, and then I have a next week. And obviously, like, this was still winter break. I wasn't really doing much as I settled in, but I think like this was a good way to start the year. Simple, but still, you know, some functional things here. Okay, and then this week I just used it as a daily to-do list. Yeah, that's what that looked like. And then last week I set this up like a little more fully, and I allowed myself to use some decorations, especially to celebrate because I turned in a internship application. And so I just used some Cat Collage Club stickers and then an Erin Ware printable as well. And then the way that I've been using this is just writing my top priorities over here. I don't know what I'm going to do with like the middle part of the page yet. I wrote weekly review here and then I haven't done it. So for me it's always about giving myself the option to try something out, and then if obviously I don't use it, like adjusting from there, or if it wasn't fun to use or rewarding, like fixing it. So yeah, I put the title, haven't done it, but that's okay. And then I also have this next week section, which has been really useful. And then this is what this week looks like. That's how I've been using the weekly pages. Then let's flip back to my notes section. So my notes section is a very important part of my planning system. As I've been in Hobonichi Weeks the past 4 years, I use my notes a lot, and I think it's very fun and rewarding to have all these like trackers and lists that I'm about to show you. I put a Traveler's Company tab up here, and I like put it in a really random spot because I was trying not to interfere with like my index sticker decoration here, and so it's just like in the middle of the page, which is like so random, but okay. So I do include an index in these pages. This is a mega, so it's a lot of pages, so I don't know if like that'll continue, but I used it a lot actually last year, so I have enough pages for that. And then here I have a place where I wrote out my goals, and then I was thinking of doing like a mid-year reflection on this side in case I need to readjust any of my goals or just like reassess. I am a writer, so here I'm tracking pieces I submit to journals, and then here I'm tracking if they got published. So I have the day I submitted it, the publication, like magazine that I'm trying to get it published at, the title of the piece, the genre of the piece, any other information I might need. And then over here I have a check mark. If it does get published, I check it off, and then if it doesn't get published, I put an X. And then here I put vibe, so I put a 3-star rating based on how like excited I am about the submission, and how confident I feel that it will get picked up. Because if I have like a low, like a bad vibe, like a bad feeling about the publication, I will begin looking for the next place I'm going to send it to sooner rather than later, so it just helps me kind of manage that. And then my publication tracker, the date that it was accepted, the date that it'll be published, title of the magazine is being published in, title of the piece, and then here really tiny, I don't know, I have website and then like social media to make sure that I'm keeping up with all the places that I post when I have a publication. And then over here I wrote payment in case I get paid for any of them. Then I have a spot for more long-term projects. I don't have anything here right now, but it's always good to have a spot to write that kind of a thing down, so I have that here. And then I have a spot for YouTube ideas and Instagram ideas. Then I have a list of all the books I own. One of my goals this year is to read all the books that I own, and so I just listed them all out here and then highlighted the ones that I have read in the past. If I read it this year, I'm going to come in and check it off. Then I have literary magazines I want to keep up with, short stories I want to read this year. And then here's my book tracker. So I have the number that it is. I give it a 5-star rating, author, title, the date that I started it, the date that I ended it, and then a 1-word or few-word review here. I have a spot to write my favorite poems of the year, favorite short stories of the year, and then favorite books of the year. Then I have a tracker for my TV show, favorite movies of the year, and favorite TV shows of the year. And then here we have a place to write my favorite orders from restaurants. And then over here, I'm either gonna track my favorite recipes or just continue my restaurants. Actually, I don't think we're gonna use this that much. Like, we don't go out to eat enough, probably. Well, in a whole year. I don't know. And then here, I have a place to keep track of what I want to do. So I live in a different city from my family, and so I have here a place to track, you know, or to write a list of things I want to do in this new city I live in. And then over here I have a place to write things I want to do when I go home. And I love the way like this page looks. So this is my weekly cleaning checklist. So I have out here listed the first quarter in weeks, so 1 through 13, and then down here on the side I just have different cleaning tasks, and so I can see like when I did things last and make sure that I'm keeping up on it. I listed out my goals here, and then I have like my quarterly goals, and then I break it into months and write them on this page over here. Then I have a Midori index clip right here to my tracker, and I use a cardstock or a index card that I cut down to fit as my blotting paper. I just track like things I want to be doing every day, and I just put a little dot, and it like works and it's cute, and I like changing them every month, so I don't like, I mean, I'm expecting that I'll be able to include the full first quarter on this page. But if like in February I want to track like 20 things and like fill up the rest of the page. Now we get to like the actual notes, not just the trackers. I have notes from when I made my Tachokagi video. Here I'm going on a trip, so I'm just writing down some things I want to make sure I do before the trip, things I want to bring, and then I have a little list of things, like a shopping list for before I go on the trip. I'm also using this to write down recipes, and then I have all the rest of the notes pages to use however I want to. When I originally got the Mega, I was planning on using this as a like diary and planner, but my plans have changed, so we'll see if I use them all. And then I just have a spot here on the last page where I can write down things I want to buy. Then we have our favorites, and I do use this. I'll write down whatever thing I watched or read that was like gonna stick with me and that I'll remember the month for. Then I have my reading tracker. There's that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Are you using Hobonichi Weeks this year? If so, I would love to see. So if you also make videos, please comment down below and let me know, so I can watch your Hobonichi Weeks video. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.